Thanks for watching Community Update for Friday, August 21st. I'm Steve Erickson. The Coon Rapids Police Department is mourning the loss of one of their own this week. Officer Greg Koss, a 30-year member of the department, passed away of natural causes at his home on Monday morning. This week, Coon Rapids flags have been flying at half-staff in honor of his contributions to the city, and the tributes from those who knew him have been pouring in.
What made him successful is that he brought a kind heart, he brought a listener's ear, he brought skilled negotiation skills, and he brought a firm hand only when a firm hand was absolutely necessary. He's exactly what you would hope for in a police officer serving your community.
The law enforcement community and many loved ones gathered in Andover this morning for Koss's funeral. CTN's Jennifer Anderson was there and takes a look at the career and impact of Officer Greg Koss.
He was genuine. What you see is what you got. There was no acting with Greg. I can't think of anybody who was loved by more, quite honestly.
Greg Koss was tall in stature and big in heart. A patrol officer until his last day, Koss trained many of his colleagues on the Coon Rapids police force who now grieve his unexpected death.
He was a larger-than-life personality for me from the time that I came on here. He was an example of professionalism and dedication to his job like nobody else, quite honestly. He's just one of those guys that was an informal leader on the department that took a lot of pride in the way he did his job, and it showed all the time.
His sudden passing on Monday was met with shock and prompted a display of respect equal to the imprint he leaves on the department. Coon Rapids Police and Fire and the wider law enforcement community formed a procession for their colleague and friend.
Everybody looked up to him and respected him, and yet he was a person that sort of transcended age. He has many friends that are 20 years younger than him. You know, he was a very social person, loved to hunt, loved to fish, and bonded a lot with the people that had common interests here at the department.
Koss began as a Coon Rapids community service officer in 1988 and became a licensed police officer in 1991. While he had many specialty assignments throughout his career, his heart was with his shift work as a patrol officer. A widely shared picture of Koss on the job is a reminder of his gift for connecting with the people he served.
That's probably the picture that embodies him the most, because he was a charitable, caring person. And the best thing I can say is that he set that example for others to follow. People are largely devastated. He's a guy that can't be replaced.
Greg Koss is survived by his children, his longtime girlfriend, and many other loved ones. He grew up in the North Metro and was a graduate of Blaine High School. Officer Koss was 53 years old. The number of DWI arrests in Minnesota is once again on the rise following a big decline during the first few months of the pandemic. In March, arrests were down more than 500 compared to the same time last year. April saw an even bigger decrease, with arrest numbers nearly cut in half. But those numbers have started to rise with the reopening of Minnesota following the lockdown. Extra DWI enforcement will continue on Minnesota roads through September 7th. The Anoka School District is pushing back the start of classes by 1 week. The week of Labor Day will now be used for orientation for students. Meanwhile, as preparations for the new school year kick into high gear, teachers still have some concerns about plans for learning this fall. CTN's Steve Antis is standing by at the Sandberg Education Center in Anoka with more. Steve?
Steve, members of the Anoka-Hennepin Education Teachers Union have expressed many concerns since District 11 announced their decision to start the school year with a hybrid learning model. Now, hybrid learning involves a combination of distance learning by computer and in-person instruction. A recent survey of teachers showed that over half of the respondents favored distance learning, and 80% believe online learning is the safest option. Some of the teachers have concerns over safety in school and being able to enforce mask and social distancing requirements. I spoke to the Anoka-Hennepin Teachers Union president, who said the teachers are concerned about their personal safety and their children's safety. Now, last Friday, School Superintendent David Law did call on the Teachers Union to invite them to be part of a committee which would include buildings and grounds officials to discuss air quality concerns. The Anoka-Hennepin Teachers Union plans to hold a socially distant in-person rally next week. According to the group's Facebook page, they plan to meet here at the Sandberg Education Center on August 24th at 5:30 p.m. The rally will be held prior to the Anoka-Hennepin School Board meeting. At Monday's meeting, the school board will be making their final decisions as to what education will look like this fall, and the teachers want to be here to have their voices heard as well. Steve?
All right, Steve, thanks. Also at that meeting, the school board is expected to approve a policy related to face coverings. Students who refuse to wear them will be reminded of the rule and offered a temporary face covering. If it continues to be an issue, the child would be moved to distance learning. Some good news for commuters who use the intersection of 121st and Hanson Boulevard. Earlier this week, crews activated the new traffic signal at that corner, once again allowing all turning movements at the intersection. New turn lanes have also been added to help the flow of traffic. However, there's still one lane of traffic in each direction on Hanson Boulevard between Northdale Boulevard and Main Street. The project is expected to be finished by the end of October. Plans for a new coffee shop in Port Riverwalk are moving forward. On Thursday night, the Planning Commission approved the site plan for a 600-foot Caribou coffee cabin to be located at the southwest corner of Egret and Coon Rapids Boulevards. The small format store will have a drive-through, a walk-up window, and an outdoor seating area. Construction is expected to begin this fall. All right, that brings us to the end of today's show. Thank you for watching. We'll see you right back here again next week.